If you spend the night or a few days in Lima and you've got a domestic flight, well, this is a video for you because I'm going to show you how to get out of Lima and navigate your way through the Jorge Chavez International Airport. You're almost certainly going to be coming by either taxi or Airport Express, which I'll show you. Most of them drop people off on the first floor, which is okay, but you're still going to have to go up 3 floors to get inside the terminal itself. Just a quick suggestion to throw in: if you're coming or going to Miraflores, there's no better way to get there, I think, than using the Airport Express. Yeah, it's not as easy, but it's usually just about as fast, and it costs less than a third of the price of the taxis. Although the taxis here are extremely trustworthy. I prefer Taxi Green. And also, by the way, just outside the airport, there's a Starbucks by Airport Express. So since the buses run every hour and you have a little time, you maybe grab something to drink. Entrances on the first floor. Number 3 is mostly for international arrivals. Number 2 is just dead in the middle between the international and domestic arrivals, and then number 1 on the far end, I'm not going to walk back down there, is right in front of the domestic arrival point where everyone comes out, exits the area. There are multiple elevators right inside gate 2, and there are escalators going up and down, but interestingly, the escalators are surprisingly steep. You have to hang on to your luggage if it has wheels. Now it's off to the 3rd floor, where all the check-in counters and the domestic and international entrances are, where you go through security. So everyone who's leaving has to go through the 3rd floor. Okay, I just noticed all the rows of check-in counters are labeled with letters A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Maybe H on the other side that I can't see behind a pole. I think most of the airlines, especially LATAM, the biggest in Peru, operate out of A, B, C, and D, maybe E. This is where you'll probably go. Lots of automated check-in kiosk. This airport is quite modern, still less than a year old. Lots of stuff down the middle because that's where you're going to walk. The domestic entrance is just as you enter gate 2, or at least right down the middle of all the check-in counters. Remember, there is a special entrance which moves pretty fast for people who are over 60, have children 5 or under, pregnant, disabled, and pretty much anybody with special situations. This is a domestic security entrance. It actually works pretty good. It rarely takes me longer than 5 minutes to go through. International departures are a little bit farther down the hallway to the left. So it works really good. I will give them that. It's always been fairly nice, but Lima has done a great job with domestic arrivals and departures, and almost everything in their airport is so much improved from the old one. To pass through security, you'll go down the hallway to the right, pass through a little area that looks like duty-free, and that's where you'll enter the domestic terminal. If you hear the video go silent as I pass through this section, that's because they're usually playing copyrighted music and YouTube doesn't like that. And here's the domestic terminal. This is where you'll find your gate. Well, either close by here or a long walk away. Or possibly you'll go downstairs and hop on a bus. Lots of new places have opened along this wall to the right. Almost everything is brand new there. There's a nice little food court to the right just as you enter the terminal. Lots of pretty good little restaurants here, to be honest. Take your time. This is not a place where you get fast food by any means. Now, I have no idea where my gate is yet because I'm a couple of hours early. I'm going to go down this way to the right. As in probably every large airport in the world, there is a McDonald's here. There's also a KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Seating in this airport is actually pretty good right now, but it's really kind of poor most of the time and crowded, and it's hard to find a seat. You're better off going to a gate. But I'll bet you there's not another airport anywhere that has a giant frog. As always, lots and lots of souvenir shops. There's a Pizza Hut and a TGI Fridays for those from the U.S. There's even a Dunkin' Donuts here I'll pass by in a few minutes. Section of the airport around the food courts and basically the commercial areas, there are the A gates. A7 through A13 are down a long hallway, well, it's not that long, a hallway to the right. A1 through A6 line the north wall. This is the hallway to A7 through A13 gates. There's not a whole lot of places to grab something to eat here. There's a Tanta little cafe kind of place where you can get things to go. That's about it, I believe, until you get all the way down the rest of this section. The flight information screens are actually very, very useful. You can spot really quickly where you're going, the airline, and they also tell you when gate info is going to pop up. And so far, after almost a year, it's been extremely accurate. Like for instance, my flight leaves at 11:40. It says gate info will show up at 10:30, and you can pretty much bet that it's going to pop up exactly at 10:30. I'll be honest, I got here a couple of hours ago from Iquitos in the northeast Amazon region and had time. That's why I decided I'd go ahead and make this video. And it has gotten quite a bit more crowded. We arrived just about exactly 7:30 this morning. There are two Cool Boxes in this area. For those from the U.S., you may not recognize the name Cool Box, but you know what it is. Cool Box is Radio Shack. It's an extremely popular electronics store. They get a lot of my money. I'm going to continue down toward the rest of the gates because there are a lot more gates in this airport than this one section. Most of my flights so far have gone through the A gates, but as things have expanded, now there's a lot more going out of the C gates and every once in a while the B gates, which are kind of special. I'll explain those to you in a moment. As Peru is the tourism capital of South America, this is an extremely busy international airport. You see people from all over the world. You hear languages from all over the world. And it's just, it's a cool experience. Something I used to experience sometimes in the Dallas airport. The Dallas-Fort Worth airport. but little airports around here, not so much. Maybe Cusco. I'm about to go down the hallway to the B and C gates. I stopped here because this is important, because all these people that are passing me by now are taking the escalator down, and they're going to make their way to the domestic departure area where the baggage claim is, and then the gate right outside of door, what is it, entrance 1. It's where these folks are all going. But instead, I'm going to go a little bit to the right and make my way down to the CMB gates. Most of the signs are pretty well explanatory. There are lots and lots and lots of them. So you probably have a hard time getting lost unless you just got information overload, which I can sure understand. It's kind of something I went through my first time here. I didn't see a lot of things, even though they were right in front of me, especially the information screens, because they were different from anything else I'd seen. So you curve around here. I believe everything on the left side is in the international departure area. I think those folks, in fact, I know it is. Those folks are taking international flights later. And a lot of these gates down here along the Sea Hall have mixed use. They can be closed off for an international flight or open up to this hallway for domestic flights. Trust me, once you find the C and B hall, you can't get lost. There's just one way to go all the way down, and one way to go all the way back. If you're going out of a B gate, you do have to go a long way, but the other end of this hallway is extremely long. There are 2 moving sidewalks between here and that far entrance, or that far window way down there that you probably can't see. There are some carts that help people, but they are generally far and few between. So be ready to do a lot of walking. If it's too much, go slow and take your time. This restaurant on the left side, Las Reyes, is the last place you'll have a chance to stop and get something to eat. There is a little store next to it, and every once in a while I see people with little carts selling snacks and drinks. Right now, for instance, C3 goes to Los Angeles, and just across from it is gate C4, which has a flight leaving for Puerto Maldonado in the southeast Peruvian Amazon rainforest. Just check the screens out in front of each of the gates and you can see where they go. There's no chance of getting lost because they're getting confused because the international gates are closed up and you can't get in it under any circumstances without setting off a huge alarm. And since they're sliding, they're not going to open for you unless you try to force one open, which I know you wouldn't do. Next to me at gate C6 is a flight to Panama leaving at 11. Can't remember how many gates. Oh yeah, I can too, because there's a sign that says there are 22 C gates. Normally I probably wouldn't walk this way, but there's a reason why I'm going all the way down here, because I want to show you how to get to the B gates. And that's quite a long walk. I didn't notice that Latam had direct flights to Cancun. That's kind of interesting. It's been a long, long time since I've been there, but maybe one day I'll hop on a plane and spend a few days in Mexico. I remember I enjoyed Cancun quite a bit when I was there before, staying in Mexican-only places with no gringos. going to places with no gringos. Here comes one of the rare carts taking some people. Okay, I'm not gonna go any farther down the hallway because there's not a whole lot going on down there. Unless you're really bored and want to exercise, you can walk down there. But I'm gonna make a right-hand turn and take you down to the B gates. Interestingly, there's only one escalator and it goes down. I don't know what the plan was, but if you want to come back up or go down, you can take an elevator. I guess they figure that most people going down to the B gates are just going to the B gates and they're not going to be coming back up. I found something interesting. This was one of those escalators that moves really slow until you set off the beam and then it picks up speed. So I was talking and going slow and all of a sudden this thing took off on me when I only had 1 foot on the step. Needless to say, I didn't fall. But these are the B gates. What makes them unique is that this is where you catch a bus that takes you out to your plane. There used to be lots and lots of these in the old airport. And even though there are lots of B gates, and they may be used much more in a few months when the high tourist season hits, they're pretty rarely used right now. There goes a bus taking some folks out. The good thing about this is if you do have to get off a plane and take a bus to the terminal, it takes you almost straight to the baggage area. No long walks. First time I was here, I thought the people arriving at the B gates had to go that long walk that we just made. That's not the case. But as you can see, this B hallway is extremely long. I'm not going to go way down there, but keep your fingers crossed you don't have one of those gates to depart from. There are 12 B gates, by the way. That's part of why this hallway stretches so far. Oh, I'm sorry, 13. There's another one there. 13 B gates. All of these folks down here are waiting for a bus to take them out to their plane eventually. Although they could be here relaxing, because to be honest, if you don't like crowds and you don't mind the walk down to the entrance to the B section, it's a good place to come down and relax, especially if you've got 3 or 4 hours and you don't want to go into Lima. You probably don't have time to do that, even with a taxi in and out. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this little tour of Lima Airport, especially when you have a domestic flight and you really don't know where you're going. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.